Alright, thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you. So, I want to talk to you guys today about something that a profession that I believe is very much unrecognized and underappreciated, in addition to being grossly unpaid. Before we get into why I feel it's this way, I'm going to explain that throughout the rest of my talking. I'll just tell you that the job that I'm talking about is, I'm speaking about certified nursing assistants. If you don't know what a CNA is, then chances are you have never needed one, and hopefully you never will. CNAs work alongside nurses, and they provide the support that the nurse needs to do his or her job. Basically anything that you don't have to be a nurse to do, a CNA does. And a lot of times when you're at a hospital, 9 patients out of 10 think that everyone is a nurse, but probably 6 out of 10 of them are CNAs. And so they have to do all kinds of stuff to help the nurse, and they have usually 3 times more patients than the nurses do. They are responsible for taking the patients to the bathroom, helping them with baths and stuff, helping them eat, literally any basic human need that you can think of that you may not be able to do when you're ill, they do for you. So, and one 12-and-a-half-hour shift, a CNA in South Carolina gets 1 half-an-hour meal break. That's what the law dictates that they can have, and that's all they get. They will walk between 7 to 12 miles in one shift, one 12-hour shift. That's on a good day. They'll help between 8 and 24 patients. Like I said, with their basic human needs. So it's stuff that they're doing isn't just, putting their groceries in a bag. It's pretty important stuff that you don't want a ton of different people to help you with because you're not really comfortable. So, that's tiring in and of itself, but it also takes a really big toll on your body when you do this kind of work. You're lifting people all the time. You are not only physically exhausted at the end of the day, you're emotionally exhausted. Not to say that it isn't an awesome career, because it is. It's absolutely worth it. But, so, even just in one shift, a CNA will typically talk with their patients, and they pretty much feel like they're in the Great Depression depending on who they're talking to, because a lot of times who they're talking to thinks that's what the terror is, and they just kind of go with it. So, I've talked a little bit about it, and I have told you guys what a hard job it is. What if I told you that somebody who does this for a living makes $24,000 a year? Construction workers, resale workers, help desk technicians, bank tellers, all have in common, they all make more than nursing assistants. They're all jobs that don't require a college degree, and according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the jobs that I just mentioned, construction workers, resale workers, help desk technicians, they make anywhere between $30,000 and $65,000 a year. And I have just a little, just to okay, you say that and you're like, okay, whatever. But when you actually look at it on paper, this is a registered nurse. This is a CNA. Way down here, little bitty. Okay, so it just kind of puts it, gives you a little better visual on it. This is really significant. And mother making $24,000 a year, that's actually poverty. That's below poverty. There's a lot of single mothers, and there are a lot of single mothers who are nursing assistants, and if that's the kind of job that they do, they literally don't make enough money to feed their kids. And it's pretty significant. A lot of people argue because education is not required, but the thing about that is it's not entirely true because a little bit of education is required. You have to take a 160-hour course to do this job. You have to take 80 clinical hours in a nursing home, and you pay them to let you do that so that you can get this certification. And not to mention, there's a really unique skill set to do something like this forever. It's not something that just anybody can do. It's just not. So, everybody kind of knows that healthcare is dangerous in and of itself. The whole Ebola thing that recently happened. Being a CNA is the most dangerous healthcare profession, period. There's a higher prevalence of injuries amongst nursing assistants than any other healthcare person. And then just in regards to occupation, again, I have my little chart here. These are just some statistics that kind of just give you a little visual on it in regards to injuries on the job. And down here we have mail sorters and whatnot. This is healthcare up here, so it's, I'm not talking about fatal, life-changing injuries, sometimes life-changing, but in general, they get hurt a lot. So my argument, what I'm persuading, is that CNAs need to be paid a reasonable wage that they can survive on. If they were even paid half of what a nurse is paid, they would average $30,000 a year, which would be a lot more reasonable. And not only that, but if they were to be paid higher, they would not be as tired all the time, they wouldn't be as exhausted all the time, they wouldn't need to have overtime all the time, and that would in turn help patient care. It'd also be less of a turnaround. It's a really big turnaround right now with the CNAs, and that in turn would also increase patient care. So, in closing, CNAs, they're very important. Without them, nurses wouldn't be able to do their jobs. I don't know about you, but I think it's wrong that the person caring for my loved one probably can't afford to buy their groceries. And the most upsetting thing to me is those who remain in that profession, they could go get a different job, maybe make more money, but they don't because they love it. I don't know about you, but I call that taking advantage.